Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina. You are watching college gymnastics here on ESPN. We are in Reynolds Coliseum, home of the NC State Wolfpack, for a fantastic meet this afternoon. I'm Rachel Garland alongside Sydney Sneed, and we've got NC State against number 13, the Michigan State Spartans. And Sydney, tell us a little bit about what we can expect this afternoon.
Well, Rachel, a really exciting night. We have two good teams, NC State with their first home opener of the year, and Michigan State coming into their second meet of the season. So a lot of high-level gymnastics to look forward to.
Absolutely, and we've got two rock stars here on the screen, Skylar Schulte from Michigan State, Emily Shepard from NC State. What can we expect?
Both powerhouse athletes with just very consistent and big gymnastics that we're definitely going to see tonight. We have Emily Shepard all around in beam eagle champion last year, Skylar Schulte 2022 second team All-American on beam, Big Ten freshman of the year. So really looking forward to that.
Absolutely, and can't believe she is only a sophomore. NC State's going to be kicking it off on the vault. Let's take a look at this lineup. We're going to start with Gabby Diaz, and we've got a slew of juniors and seniors that are going to be kicking off the first event for the NC State Wolfpack.
It's always good to see those seniors in your lineup as well. Their last year, it's something to look forward to, and always just gives that team the confidence that you need as well.
Absolutely. We got a chance to chat with Coach Landris prior to the meet, and one thing that she's really looking for is, because she does have so many juniors and seniors returning, is the freshmen and the sophomores really just building out some of that depth that they'll need throughout the season.
Absolutely.
All right, first up, Gabby Diaz. Always a little bit nerve-wracking for lead off of the entire competition.
Yes, a lot of pressure for your leadoff spots on any event.
If anyone can do it, Gabby is fantastic in this spot. We're going to see a 9.95 start value.
A good start to this Wolfpack lineup.
Absolutely. Stuck on the landing. But again, the judges are going to be critical. We'll take another look right here.
A little bit of pike down on that landing, but you can see she's right in center of the horse, which is new this year.
Absolutely, and you saw those lines on the landing mat. So again, another new thing, helping the judges really just determine the directionality of the gymnast. Jumping over to the uneven bars, Michigan State. We've got a great diverse class, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And again, coming off of their highest season opener last week.
You can see on this bar routine too, just the great form that she has throughout the air. Couldn't quite get that catch on that release move.
Absolutely, so we can always chat about what that means to this lineup. So 6 gymnasts up on each event, only 5 scores count. So not necessarily a detriment.
Right.
But we're going to look at some points of emphasis, and then again, it just means that the rest of the 5 gymnasts have to hit. So uneven bars, handstands, release, and a stuck dismount.
Finish the routine strong, and like you said earlier, Rachel, it is hard for the rest of that lineup. There's a little bit more added pressure.
You saw those hands just almost hit on the wristband of her grip, so wasn't able to quite catch that. Dismount a little bit low on that landing, had to take the hop forward and sideways. Back over to the vault.
She's pumped about that one. You can see that stick right off the table. And that's a great spot to be in. Their lineup's just continuing to build. So we'll take another look right here. Had some height off the table, but what a stick. She nailed that landing.
Absolutely, and Krista's actually their transfer gymnast. So they've got 5 freshmen this year, and then Krista, who is actually a junior, coming over to finish out her season with NC State. Up next, you see Gabby Stephen, one of the sophomores for Michigan State last week, a 9.725 on uneven bars. So a good score.
Right. I think it's important, too, for Gabby in this spot to really focus. You know, obviously you always want to be focused, but especially right now after coming you know, in the lineup after a fall. She kind of needs to get her team reset. And so this routine is very important.
Absolutely. So just getting them back on track with the hit. So an 8.95 for Jackard there on the leadoff spot for Michigan State.
You can see the handstand was a little bit short, but that's as to be expected. We see a lot of times coming off a fall, your next few people may be a little conservative on their routines, but all she needs right now is a hit. Great handstand on top of the bar. Gearing up for that dismount. Wow. Great way to put an exclamation point on that routine.
Nice full-in dismount. Now, the biggest question is, would you give that the stick?
I call that the college stick. She lands it, salutes, and then kind of takes that step back. But hey, she stepped after the salute, so we'll see what the judges give her on that.
Absolutely. Lex Ortega for the Wolfpack.
Really great height off the table. You could see her body position in the air was really good. Good form throughout.
Take another quick look here. Another layout Yurchenko full.
Little bit of a hop back, but really good twist in the air. It looked like an easy skill for her. Obviously, we want to see those sticks, but it's still very early on in the season.
Absolutely, and all three of those vaults worth a 9.95. So even if they do them absolutely perfectly, stick the landing, the maximum they can get on that vault is a 9.95.
And now a freshman up on bars again. The rest of this lineup's going to feel a little extra pressure than they normally would. But this is a great test.
Absolutely, and Olivia actually from North Carolina, so we know she's got a lot of fans in the audience.
Very pretty floaty pack salto down to the low bar, back up to the high bar, and a ginger in between the bars. Now that is a very hard combination right there. And she did that very well. Huge double layout and a stick again. Wow, well they have really reset their lineup. That's exactly what you want to see.
Take a look at this combination.
Really big double layout, and she nailed that.
Lauren Rutherford up next for the Wolfpack. Sophomore out of Georgia.
I love that landing, how she had a tiny hop back but covered it up so well because it really had a lot of power and could have been a way bigger hop than she showed. You can see the block off the table. Nice body position, a teeny bit of pike down, but really covered up that landing well.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at head coach Kim Landris in her 6th season as at the helm of NC State Athletics, the 2020 Eagle Head Coach of the Year, and just really big plans for this team. A lot of returning, a lot of newcomers, and just really looking at how she said this season is a marathon and not a sprint.
And you can see over on the bars, we have Skylar Schultz, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Mentioned her earlier, has done a great bar routine so far. Huge double layout. You could see that hop because she had so much power on that. Overall, though, a really good routine and exactly what they need right now.
Absolutely. We'll take another look at this dismount. Big double layout. Just needs to absorb that landing a little bit more.
I liked how the second flip was rising in the air. That's something to look out for if you're a judge.
Absolutely. Followed up by Emily Shepard again in her senior season.
Wow. That is a great vault. That's exactly what you want to see at this spot in the lineup. Really big amplitude. You can see here on the replay.
Absolutely. Huge vault out of Emily. She's been first team vault for the last 2 seasons.
And notice the distance on that vault as well, how far back she gets. And you can see she also is right down the middle.
Absolutely. I always look for height distance dynamics on vault. Those are some of the biggest things to go after, and she had all 3 of those. over to the uneven bars.
Looked like she just lost that grab, a little bit of control on the bars.
Absolutely. This is Nikki Smith, one of the freshmen coming in, one of the sister duos on this Michigan State team.
So fun to have a sister on the same team as you.
Absolutely. So this was, Cindy, tell us a little bit. So second fall on the uneven bars. How's that going to affect their overall team score?
Well, you never want to have to count a fall. Unfortunately, Michigan State will have to count it. We can just take a look right here on this replay. Just couldn't get that grab. She had so much power coming down onto the bar. So again, they will have to take the fall, but that's why they just have to keep continuing to build on the rest of their events.
Absolutely. Chloe Negretti for the Wolfpack.
Another really big vault as well. You can see again, slight hop on that. But taking a look. Great block. She knew where she was in the air. You could see her kind of spread like she was ready for that landing and break out of that twist.
Absolutely. And I know the team excited to have Chloe back in the lineup after taking last season out. So Michigan State coach Mike Rao in his 6th season as well. So Coach Landris, Coach Rowe, both at the same time with the program, and he has just done a phenomenal job with this Spartan team. And we'll talk to him a little bit after this rotation.
Now, huge ginger for Delaney Harkness. You can see her anchoring the spot. Beautiful form all the way throughout this routine. Gearing up for this dismount. And another great stick. A great way to end this bar lineup. Unfortunately, they have to count a fall.
Take another look at this dismount.
She held on to that landing.
she was really fighting with those feet, making sure she didn't take a scooch or a hop.
She was.
Madison Benson for the Wolfpack. Madison, a unique vault.
And handled that really well. The front landings are always very hard to know where you're at in the air, to land them in a great body position. So I think she did an awesome job.
Absolutely. The only 10-0 start value that the Wolfpack has. And then again, we've got these new direction lines. You can see her a little bit off to the side, lands half inbounds, and just hops a little bit out to the side.
And we'll be seeing throughout the whole year judges taking more off on the direction, because before these lines, I don't know that the judges can really see from the side how crooked you might be or off you might be sometimes.
Absolutely. Tori Loomis up next for the Spartans. Prior to that, Delaney with a 9-9.
See a really pretty Jaeger. Right back down to the low bar. Big pack salto. Fought for that pirouette. Really good handstand on top of the bar. Again, that's something that the judges are really looking for throughout the whole routine. And a little tiny hop forward, but she'll be happy with that one.
Absolutely. So again, every team looking for at least 5 out of 6 routines. This round, only 4 out of 6, so having to count that one fall.
It's never what you want, but you count the fall, you move on to the next events, and then you say, hey, what are we going to do on these next 3 events that's really going to test your team? You can see Coach Rowe talking to his gymnast.
Absolutely. And again, both teams going to be utilizing their exhibition spots this afternoon, giving some other athletes some experience on each event. Welcome. Absolutely. Great way to start the vault rotation. Fantastic landings, fantastic body positions. Tell us a little bit just over thoughts and what you did to prepare for that. Absolutely, and again, great to see Chloe back in the lineup. What impact does she have just overall on the team? Absolutely, fantastic. Well, we'll let you get to bars and good luck throughout the meet. All right, well, that concludes rotation number 1. You've got a great meet between the NC State Wolfpack and the Michigan State Spartans. We'll be back in just a few minutes with rotation number 2. Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina, as NC State hosts the number 13 Michigan State Spartans. Coach Rowe with a slightly rough start on the uneven bars, but last season, just a fantastic opportunity, their first postseason berth since 2016 with a program record at his home.
And he was the National Coach of the Year. Like you said, placed 3rd. You can see the consistent build-up year after year, and it's been awesome to watch.
Absolutely. You mentioned the consistent build. This is just mind-boggling. A jump from 55th to 9th ranked in the nation. And when we talked to him a little bit pre-meet, you could just tell this team has really come together. He's done a great job. He was working on building not only the culture, but the character of the individuals, giving the gymnasts leadership training and really helping them. And I think that just goes to show with what he's been able to do with this program. We'll take a look at this Michigan State vault lineup. Again, a very good mix of freshmen through seniors, and just some fantastic gymnastics to watch.
Absolutely. It's always fun to see those freshmen in those lineups. They had their debuts last week. Now they're back in their second meet of the season. A little bit more confidence that'll just continue to build as the year goes on.
Absolutely. They did lose 5 seniors, so again, you see some of the opportunities opening up for those freshmen and sophomores. We're going to start off with Nia Smith, one of the seniors.
And like we talked about, that leadoff spot, her job is to get the ball rolling and to have momentum. And I think that's exactly what we'll see.
Absolutely, and they've got a lot of capabilities of 10-0 vaults in this lineup. Not everyone's going to do their 10-0 vault, but it is something that they have been practicing in the gym. Just need more numbers, more consistency.
Absolutely, and you can see how excited she is after that vault. Great distance from the table. You can see right here, big vault, knows where her landing is. She breaks out a little early, but she gets that stick.
Haley Merchant on the uneven bars. There's the lineup over on the right side of your screen.
First release move. Right back down to the low bar with that pack salto. Solid routine so far. Nice handstand. Good double layout. Took that tiny step forward, but covered it up really well. She had a hit routine, which again, your leadoff spot, that's exactly what you're looking for. You can see that good dismount. Like I said, small step.
Another look at Skylar Schulte. There you see last week a 9.825 on vault. And again, Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
Absolutely great form on that vault. You can see she did get the stick, but had that arm circle. Take a look again. She looked a little high onto the table, but still had great amplitude. You see those little tiny arm circles because she was going for the stick.
And the judges can deduct for that. I've always found that different, between men's and women's gymnastics. That is a stuck landing in men's gymnastics. In women's, it's still a deduction.
It is unfortunately still a deduction, but she did have, like I said, great amplitude, nice body shape in the air.
Absolutely. Peyton Childs up next, a sophomore from just down the road in Holly Springs.
Yes, I actually did club gymnastics with her, so that's always fun.
Always fun to watch. So lots of fans, former teammates, all in the audience.
You can see that nice handstand on the high bar. Right into the dismount, double tuck. And she stuck that. Great landing. She had her chest up and knew where she was. You can see Kim Landris excited about that bar routine.
Absolutely. There you see the NC State vault scores that led to that 49-1 plus. We've got Bailey Garcia.
That was a solid vault. Great body shape in the air. You could see a little bit of a slight hop on the landing. You can see right there, good finish, solid vault.
There you see the scores for Michigan State on bars. Again, that 8.95 and a 9.25. So they did end up having to count that 9.2, which is typically one you would want to drop, but slightly higher than that 8.95. So unfortunate low score for Michigan State. They've got a lot of digging to do, but they are definitely a team that can come back from that.
Yes, I think this will be a good test for them.
Kaylee Adamides, one of the freshmen that has made her way into lineup.
You can see a big release move, back down to the low bar, a little bit of flex feet throughout the routine.
And again, not many freshmen in the lineup on this Wolfpack team, so definitely a little bit nerve-wracking.
Right, and for their home opener in front of their home crowd, but solid routine. Again, at this point in the season, we're really looking for hits, trying to build up that lineup. We're not going to expect 9.9s across the board for anyone.
Absolutely. I think the beginning of the season, more just the confidence. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior. There's always some of those like early season jitters of some sort.
Absolutely. And you can see that different type of vault, nailed that landing. She did a front handspring onto the table, then into a front pike with a half twist. We'll take another look at that. Huge block off that table, into that half twist. Absolutely knew where she was and nails that landing.
Fantastic. And you would have no idea that she's a freshman. She sticks this landing, knows exactly where she's at, like she's been competing this.
Like a veteran.
Yes.
Absolutely. And again, that vault is a 10-0 start value, which is huge.
All right, Lex Ortega. There you see last week at UNC a 9.725 on this event.
Really big release move. Not one that you see too often. Great bail to handstand, right back up to the high bar. The routine's definitely flowing very smoothly. Big double layout, small hop back. I thought that was gonna be a stick, so close.
That was a really good routine. I think last year I mentioned the word swingfulness, like on bars. You want them to look swingful and not like they're muscling everything,
right.
And she does a great job at just the flow of her bar routine. All right.
Nikki Smith coming up on the vault. She's
last
gonna do
week.
a Yurchenko 1.5.
Last week you see that 9.9 against Alabama, and she, again, unfortunately coming off a fall, so really has to get back in the mental game.
Huge 1.5, almost had that stick.
She tried so hard.
So close. But you can see the height she got off the table. Great form in the air. Really big, broke out, thought she had that stick. Landed a little bit short, and I know we'll probably say this a couple times, but it's better to land a little bit forward. Take that step forward to show that you had too much power instead of backwards, showing that you were a little short.
But that was a fantastic vault. Emily Shepard on the uneven bars.
one gymnast to definitely look out for tonight. You can see big release move. Came in a little close to the bar, but great handstand right after. You can see the great lines and the form that she has throughout this whole routine. Really makes a difference when the judges are looking.
And we've got 3 individuals competing in the all-around today, Emily being the only one from NC State's team.
And a good landing. Again, looked like she had that stick, had the smallest little hop. You can see right here, good dismount, chest was up, the tiniest.
It's just the tiniest hop, but it's still a half a tenth that if the judges saw it, they have to take it.
And that, wow, that was sky high, and she just nailed that. No question, a stick. And look at this. She goes out of that frame almost, breaks out, knows where she is, and just drills that.
Absolutely. You see how high above the table her feet are. Just absolutely huge. Gabby, we'll see her in the all-around today as well, so a fantastic vault.
And that start value was a 995, and I might be close to giving that a 995.
We'll have to see what the judges think. 9-9. So pretty close.
9-9, there you go.
They found something. They found something to deduct. I'm not sure what.
Again, early in the season, I could see that 995 later on this year.
Absolutely. Lauren Rutherford for the Wolfpack.
Another big release to start. Tight handstands and that bail. You can see again, nice handstand on top of the bar, gearing up for this dismount, double layout. Another so close to those sticks. They're the tiniest, hops back, and I think that's definitely something they'll be working on this week in the gym.
Absolutely. We'll take another look here, but again, those hops on the landings, you take 1/10 off of everyone's dismount because they're not sticking. That's 5/10 across the board, which is basically a fall.
Right.
Lauren Sue.
And another big vault. She had a big hop back, so that'll be a deduction. But again, that was an exhibition routine, and to see the depth that each team has. And right now they're at a stage where they're really playing with these lineups.
Absolutely. We've got another individual on uneven bars for the Wolfpack, Sophia Obregon.
A good release move, a little bit of form.
A little short on that handstand.
Looks a little bit rushed, the routine.
But again, this is really a great opportunity just to give them some experience.
And some exposure into these pressure situations, absolutely.
They're still getting judged just as if they were on the team, but the nice thing is the score, it doesn't help or hurt the
total
the
event
complete
score.
Lineup.
Yes.
Yeah. The top 6 that were in the lineup, but it is still getting judged just the same way. There you see Lauren Rutherford's score coming in at 985 as we wrap up the second rotation. So the Wolfpack with a 98.225, a 49 plus on each event so far. Michigan State coming back from a little rough start, but a fantastic vault rotation. Welcome, Coach. Great vault rotation. Really want to highlight that one. So
thank you.
After a little bit of a rough start on the uneven bars, again, very uncharacteristic, especially from the first meet of the season. How did you get your team just back in the mental game?
Let it go, let it go. We leave the last event behind us and we go on to the next one. We knew we had the capacity, capabilities to go and make up for some of that. And we can do it even more on the next 2 rotations. So we let it go behind us. We'll address it in the gym this week, and that's how they go. It didn't happen. Denial's a great thing. And
Exactly. Exactly. Well, again, coming off a fantastic season opener last week, you've got 2 really strong events going forward. expectations, what do you want to see just out of your gymnasts?
I want to see them settle in. I think amped for whatever reason. I'm seeing a little, not nerves or anything like that, but they're rushing. They're rushing on some things. I think they settled in pretty decent on vault. We saw some improvement over last week. So bars, we're going to go back into the gym and working on just settling in. I think touch got them a little frazzled. So yeah, that's all we need to do is get back into that mindset. Their own zone, which is different. Beam, of course, is a lot different. Floor, they have a lot of energy, but it seems to be a pretty springy floor, and I don't want them flying out of bounds. So yeah, just do it, just tumble correct, and you'll be fine.
Absolutely. Well, we'll hope that they find those landings, definitely.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you joining us here tableside, and we'll let you get back to your last two events.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well, that concludes rotation number 2. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the second half of the meet this afternoon.
Go, stay, tumble right, tumble right.
We're back inside Reynolds, North Carolina with NCAA Women's Gymnastics midway through the meet, and we've got some fantastic gymnastics going on. Emily Shepard, Lex Ortega for the Wolfpack, 2 of the top scorers so far.
You can see the big gymnastics on the screen. They've had a great 2 first rotations.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at Michigan State as well with some big scores.
You can see great sticks.
Absolutely. Even with a little bit of a falter on the uneven bars, there were still some fantastic scores coming out of that. Some season highs, a career high out of Nikki Smith with a 9.85 and a perfectly stuck landing on the vault. Meet summary so far through 2 events. NC State led by half a point after event 1, mainly because Michigan State did have to count that fall. After the second rotation, NC State was still in the lead, but not quite as much. Michigan State making up a lot of ground on vault.
Absolutely, and I think that says a lot as well about Michigan State coming back on that huge vault rotation. You can tell they're definitely amped up.
Gabby Diaz competing for the Wolfpack.
Wanted to highlight that your first leadoff spot on beam is one of the hardest spots to be in collegiate gymnastics. This is one of the most nerve-wracking positions. So her job is to, again, get the ball rolling in really a hit routine.
Absolutely. Very unique acro series there. Front aerial to a back handspring.
Pretty leaps that she has, looking for that 180-degree split on all of those.
Most of the viewers know that have been watching NC State. I was not a beam person. This is not my event. I give it to all the gymnasts that say they love beam and that this is their favorite event. It was not mine. Was it your event?
It wasn't my favorite, but it did grow on me, I have to say. A stuck landing. Great way to start off this Wolfpack lineup. You can see she's very happy with that. And a stick at the end of the routine really just puts an exclamation mark on the routine.
Absolutely great, like I said, a great start for Gabby Diaz. Michigan State on the floor. We've got Naya leading off currently, and we've got a slew of fantastic routines.
5 tumbling passes in this lineup. You do not see that often.
And a lot of diversity as well, just within what those tumbling passes are.
Absolutely. Starts with a front tuck through to the double tuck. A little bit chest down on that landing, but covered it well. I love getting to watch the routines and see everyone's personalities come out a bit. Good leap and jumps. You can see the height on those.
And again, Naya Smith, big sister to Nikki Smith that we've seen as well. So we got to talk to Coach just prior to the meet about knowing how, how is he handling some of these sisters. They didn't know what was going to happen 3 years away. Nikki was definitely heavily recruited, but I think having big sister at Michigan State, it really kind of sealed the deal for them, for Nikki to join the team as well.
And he said they are so close. You can see a nailed double pike as her last pass. And a solid way to start off this lineup as well.
Absolutely. We'll see Nikki a little bit later on. He said as long as they know when to be serious and when to compete, it doesn't bother them. We'll take a look at this last tumbling pass. Nice double pike.
You could see she knew where she was on the landing. Endurance is huge on floor, and it's always harder at the beginning of the season. That's something that builds.
Macy Jennings for the Wolfpack.
Starts off with the full turn, which looks like a simple, easy skill, and sometimes it does get you.
Macy, a sophomore from, again, just down the road in Apex.
She does a triple series right here. Very difficult. Handspring layout. Made that look easy. Again, beam being a very pressuring event, no matter where you're at in the lineup. A big leap, a little flexed feet. But again, you're flipping on a 4-piece inch of wood, so that makes it a little more difficult.
She was named All-Eagle second team for this event last year.
Getting ready for this dismount. A nice round up 1.5. Could see a little bit of hop back. She broke out a little too early. But something to highlight, this triple series, handspring layout. You can see she was a little off, but she was squeezing so tight. Her feet were not gonna come off that beam.
Absolutely. Bailey Garcia now for the Spartans.
First pass, gone off by handspring, double top. And you are allowed to take that lunge on your floor passes.
As long as it's controlled.
Right, yes. It's very difficult to stick and not move your feet on floor. You don't see that too
Absolutely.
much.
And Coach touched on it a little bit on our interview with him, that this floor is extremely springy. So just being able to control the landing sometimes is a feat in itself.
And just being able to control your emotions on each event, because floor, you're very amped up, whereas being a little more calm. Good routine so far for Bailey. Getting ready for this third and final pass. Round off back handspring, double pike, and that was a controlled landing. She knew where she was at. Chest landed up, and it's always encouraging to see these last passes with their chest up, because again, endurance is key.
Absolutely.
Really solid second pass. Third pass, you can see, big double pike. A little bit of a deep squat, maybe.
Absolutely, and gets an extra 10th of bonus for doing that at the end of the floor routine.
Yes.
Krista Zoltovic, again, the transfer student, but already making an impact on 2 events for this Wolfpack team.
Absolutely, and you can see right here going into the series, just a beautiful form. So elegant, legs straight, feet pointed in the air. Looks like she's floating on the beam.
Absolutely, coming to NC State from Kentucky.
A little bit of form on that split jump. You could see the front foot a little flexed. Cat leap into the side aerial. Adds another jump onto that.
And we should note that these routines don't actually start from a 10.0. So you see a lot of these skills in combination. They actually start from a 9.4, and they have to earn that bonus. They have to essentially add value to their routine by doing things in combination.
Again, a stuck dismount. We see that arm wobble. Can see the beautiful form though on this series. She's happy with that. But like you mentioned, Rachel, we're seeing a lot of more creative and diverse routines because of this building of 6/10 per routine.
Absolutely. So college gymnastics still on that 10.0 scale. That 10.0 is still the coveted prize as everyone wants to earn that 10. But you also have to do difficult skills in order to get there.
Oh yes, you definitely have to build up for that.
This is Delaney Harkness.
First pass here. Really nice full in, and she has a smile on her face. That was the controlled landing.
There you can see the points of emphasis for floor: difficulty, presentation, and the landings. This one, you gotta love the presentation.
Oh yeah, and that pass, that first pass was absolutely great. It's always fun when you hit your first pass, because then you're like, okay, got that one over with. It's usually your most difficult.
It is, definitely. And I love seeing so many more tumbling passes. I feel like there were a few years in collegiate gymnastics where it was more playing the game than doing the difficult skills. And so I think the scoring system and some of the teams and gymnasts have realized we still need to do the difficult skills too.
Right. Last pass, front through to double tuck. Wow, chest up landing. That was a great routine.
Absolutely, very clean.
And watch this. First pass, double tuck with a full twist, and she knew exactly where she was. Second pass, ending with a double tuck. Again, chest up landing.
And again, due to some of the bonus and the combinations and the difficulty, she only did 2 tumbling passes.
Right. We have seen a lot more of the 2 tumbling pass routines on floor last year and this year.
I wish I could have done that.
Me too. Me too.
Lex Ortega for the Wolfpack. There you can see a slew of 9.75s for the beam team.
And that is a very hard series.
Absolutely. By handspring into the Anodi. She actually fell on that last week, so I'm glad she was able to hold on to that one. Still a little bit of a misstep at the end of it.
Another good leap combination from her. I like her dance though. Very pointy fingers, controlled, elegant. And a stuck dismount. Really good routine. Definitely going to build up her confidence, especially from having that fall last week.
Absolutely.
And look at this series. Twist in the middle of it. Holds on, was a little off, but she was like, I am not coming off this beam.
Absolutely. And she makes it look so easy. It's actually a very difficult move.
Extremely difficult.
Gabby Steven there, you saw a 9.9 last week competing in the all-around.
We've seen her tonight on bars and vault.
And you see
a huge vault.
The floor results so far for this Michigan State team, 9.8, 9.85, and a 9.925. So they do not like being down at this point.
No, they don't. First pass. You could see she had a hop back, a lot of power.
Able to stay in bounds, but that's what we mean on the controlled landing. That one was not out of control, but a little more out of control.
Yeah, that definitely will be a deduction. You can see her teammates on the side getting into the routine as well.
I always liked some of these just kind of regular season meets where your teammates could be on the side of the floor versus postseason where you're either in a corral or they're up on a podium of some sort and your teammates just can't be right there beside you.
Yeah, that's always a different feeling, not having them right there. But a good routine. You saw her last pass was a gorgeous front double twist. Also had a lot of power on that. You can see that step or that lunge forward.
We'll take another look right here. Very difficult to end with an E skill.
It is very difficult, and she did it very well. A little bit too much power, but covered that.
And for those new to gymnastics, we're referring to these skills, and E is one of the most difficult skills. So they're ranked A through E. A are going to be your easy skills, a cartwheel, a full turn, a handstand, and then as they get more difficult, they're ranked further down, and E in collegiate gymnastics is the hardest that you can do.
Yes, a great point out.
Emily Shepard for the Wolfpack.
She's one of our all-arounders today. I like the smile on her face. Not too many smiles on the balance beam until you stick a dismount.
Absolutely.
Pretty leap combination.
She just always has kind of a presence, like a grace, a confidence, especially on this event.
Nice series. And confidence is key on beam. It's key for the athlete that's competing and the athletes competing after that.
That may be where I lacked. I had no confidence on beam.
Well, hey, it's a make or break event. It's very difficult.
It really is. And you really want the scores to build on each other. Again, NC State started off with 3 9.75s. And hopefully going, 9.75, 9.8, 9.85, something along those lines.
Right. And that aerial to a 1.5 dismount is very difficult, a little too much power, so she will get a deduction on that. But overall, a nice solid routine. Beautiful form on that series. No issue there at all. And again, a difficult dismount to that 1.5, a little too much power, but she's happy with that routine.
One of the new rules for this year is you have to do that C dismount. You used to be able to do the aerial into a full, but they did change that this year. Nikki Smith up on floor for the Spartans.
Another huge full in. I mean, that was spot on. That's a textbook full in right there.
Absolutely.
Such a powerful athlete. And floor is the event that you get to showcase that.
It really is. And again, just a freshman, this is only her second meet performing as a veteran.
That's crazy to think about. You would not be able to tell. Second pass, 1.5 to that front layout. No issues on that either. You can see her really into that dance as well. This makes you want to get up and dance with her. Gearing up for this last pass. Round up by Kingswick. Huge double tuck. Wow. What an awesome routine.
And I know this team just expects huge things out of her. I'm just boggled that she's still just a freshman. We'll take a look at this huge full in on the opening tumbling pass.
Great controlled landing with the chest up.
And then again, Nikki Smith here, freshman, top 10 five-star recruit, according to College Gym News, and a lot of teams going after her. Chose Michigan State, and again, I think the sisterly bond there had a lot to do with that.
Yes, again, so cool to have your sister there.
Chloe Negretti for the Wolfpack, and again, there you see NC State. They're doing good on B.
They are. You can see the scores are consistent. You really want this score, this last Chloe score to really be an exclamation point in the event, 9-8 or better.
Absolutely, and again, comparing to Michigan State on the floor, 9/8 and above, when you've got that 1/10 difference, over over 5 routines, that really adds up. Half a point can be made up in some of those little minor bobbles, steps on the landing. And as the season progresses, that's really going to be one area that all the teams focus on.
Absolutely. Wow. That was a great dismount, though. You don't see too many double fulls. Beautiful form in the air. Her feet, her legs did not separate or come apart at all. And she nailed that dismount. You can see right there, no form breaks, stuck.
Absolutely.
It was like she knew it was coming. She was like, I just stuck
She knew that one,
Yeah.
Career high on beam, 9.925 for Chloe. I don't know if it'll be quite there, but that was a really strong routine.
I agree. Here's a fun routine to watch as well.
Stylish. Yep. Saw a 9.9 out of her last week.
Another E-pass. Huge. I mean, they just went back to back to back, huge full ends.
I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but you know, Sydney and I are sitting floor side, and it's like I could have walked underneath her.
Oh, absolutely. She goes out of the frame on the cameras. Really good jumps, too. You can see the extension through her legs. And she's having fun with this routine. She's such a performer, so dynamic, so fun. Kind of just have to sit back and watch her perform.
Absolutely. Career high on this event of a 9.95.
Next pass, front tuck through to a huge double tuck. She did have a lot of power on that, which is a great problem to have.
Absolutely.
Stayed in bounds,
Yeah,
though.
too much power at the end of your floor routine is fantastic.
A great issue to have.
All right, let's take a look at this full in.
Wow, sky high. Didn't even really need to take that step.
And then the landing on this one, you can just see she almost held on a little too long.
Could have broken out a little earlier.
All right, Sophia Obregon for the Wolfpack in the exhibition spot.
Getting ready to go into a series. Back handspring, back layout, step out. A little bit of a wobble, but saved it. It's really important on balance beam to have cues that you say to yourself as well while you're up there.
Absolutely, just helps ground you, helps keep you a little bit calmer. You'll see even at different teams, depending on what they do, some gymnasts have beam music.
Yeah.
That they'll sing along to, that they'll request for a specific song to be played over the PA system.
Hey, I loved the beam music. I knew exactly what was going on. It was routine. It calmed me down.
Absolutely. I think it's a fantastic idea. I love it. You can tell the ones that have, you know, it's their song. It puts them at ease, and that's what you need on beam.
Yep.
I love it too. Everyone should have beam music.
Yep. And a great routine. You can see that gainer full off the side. Step on that dismount.
All right, and another exhibition routine for the Spartans. Coach Rowe really looking forward to being able to do some of these exhibitions. Not able to last week at Alabama, but that was one thing that he was excited about coming here to NC State, was giving more gymnasts the opportunity to get on the floor in front of the judges.
Yeah, he mentioned that when we talked with him last week, and I think that is so important to have these exhibition routines. Again, for the exposure, for the pressure. We're so early on in the season, these coaches are looking to possibly make some lineup changes.
Absolutely. You can only do so many pressure sets in the gym to try to practice, but it's just different when you've got fans, when you've got real judges.
Right.
Even if you have real judges in the gym, it's just not the same.
Yeah, meets are different. You try to make them the same, though.
You try as best you can.
getting ready to go into her next pass.
Gianna actually one of the juniors on the team, but again, as you're looking at building depth and maybe needing somebody for later on in the season, a great opportunity.
You can see Coach Rowe next to us getting excited about that one.
Fantastic. And that concludes the third rotation. You can actually see unofficially the scores down in the bottom right of your screen, but Michigan State, even though they did have to count a fall on the uneven bars, those floor scores really picked up, and they are right now in the lead after 3 rotations.
I mean, that's got to make you feel good as a coach, as a team, to see how you bounce back on the next 2 events. And another great test will be on beam. You know, ending on beam's never easy, especially after counting a fall, but they have done a great job so far.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes 3 out of 4 rotations. NC State's going to be moving to floor. The Spartans will finish their meet on beam. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
So I sing a song? Oh, okay. Baby, 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 oh. Or baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark. That's a good one. Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum. Boom. That's 2. Sugar, da 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 da. Oh, honey, honey. Give me more. Give me more. give me more. That's good. Yes. Oh, it's the Ariana Grande song. The I see it, I want it, or like it. I want it. I got it. Yo. That's it. You definitely did better than I did. Boom.
Some quick highlights over this meet. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with rotation number 4. Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina. You're watching NCAA Women's Gymnastics on ESPN. We've got a great meet going on so far, but let's take a look at some of the gymnastic headlines from around the country. Oklahoma, defending national champions. Fisk University has been all the talk as of the last couple of weeks as they debut as the first HBCU program. Meet next Monday at Sydney's alma mater at Georgia, so that'll be exciting to watch. And then last night, 3 perfect 10s for the Florida Gators, 2 out of Leanne Wong and Trinity Thomas finishing out on the floor exercise.
And wow, just to highlight, 3 perfect 10s. That is not something, you don't even see a perfect 10 often, but 3 is crazy. So very exciting for the Florida program to see that many. It's got to build confidence in those athletes.
Absolutely. And this early in the season too is crazy.
Absolutely.
A quick look at the meet summary after 3 rotations. NC State led at the midway point. After the 3rd rotation, Michigan State took over by 75 thousandths of a point. Just some really big floor scores. And you see Delaney Harkness a 9.925 as that exclamation point.
We saw Michigan State struggle a little bit on the bars, so to bounce back like this has been huge for them.
Absolutely, and I think you can just see that, you know, every score truly does count in collegiate gymnastics. It's not always about the wins and losses, it's really about that score. There we've got our beam lineup for the Spartans. So again, just kind of looking at continuing this momentum and hoping to build on what they just did on floor. Gianna, that was in the exhibition spot, is now in the leadoff spot on balance beam.
she's such a clean and concise athlete as well, which you'll see coming up here. Again, what we're looking for is just a strong hit in this leadoff position.
Career high on this event of a 9.925.
Back handspring, back layout. Another triple series, very difficult. You can see that leg up wobble a little bit, but stays on the beam.
And again, still early on in this season, so I feel like there's different jitters. It doesn't matter what year you are. Like a freshman, it's like, oh, I've got to come in and prove myself. But even as an upperclassman, now it's like, oh, I've got to continue and be consistent. And
I agree. We see those jitters all across the board, and it's totally normal for the beginning of season.
Absolutely. And again, doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior or a super senior. They're always there, just maybe a slightly different mentality to them. And then we'll move right over to floor exercise. Gabby Diaz leading off, as she has done for the last 3 years.
You can see a lot of upperclassmen in this lineup.
Gabby, a fun routine to watch. A 9.825 last week for the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack last week at UNC just seemed a little nervous. Again, it was their season opener. Big rival just down the road. But they just, I think the jitters just got to them a little bit.
Yeah, like we said, those jitters are completely normal. They've definitely turned it around this meet. So far, great routine. The second pass, front layout to a front full. A little bit squatty on that landing.
Able to hold on, so again, no fall.
Getting ready for this last pass. Run off back handspring, big double top, very controlled landing. Her first and last pass had those excellent landings.
Absolutely, a fantastic routine. Just that middle stumble.
Yeah,
it wasn't even really a stumble.
So just a little bit of a deep squat.
Absolutely. Career high of a 9.925 on this event. Not going to get it today, but that was really the only deduction that I saw was that middle pass.
I would agree with that.
Olivia Zermani for the Spartans on beam.
A freshman. Mike Rowe really talked about keeping his athletes in a bubble on this event and how important that was for them. And I completely agree. I think that's a great way to approach this apparatus.
And Olivia had a big break, so we saw her on bars at the top of the meet, and now she's sat for 2 events, so how is it coming in almost cold? Like, I know she's not cold physically, but she kind of is.
I think that's something that sometimes people don't realize. You are cold on those events. You have to re-warm up and get back in that zone and focused to be able to compete this event. And a crucial event like the balance beam makes it even more difficult.
Absolutely, and in a away meet or a dual meet, you know, she's on the first and the last event, whereas at a home meet, she would be in the middle too, kind of back to back.
Right. You could see on that dismount, that squat on the landing and that step backwards.
Take another look real quick.
A big 1.5 though, but deep squat and a step back, so that'll be the deduction there. NC State getting their fans pumped up for this home crowd.
Madison Benson, some really big tumbling, and she's going to have to, again, watch those landings, watch the out of bounds line.
Again, floor is such a fun event to be able to show off your personality.
Benson, one of the juniors on this team.
Really big double pike. She did have too much power. It looked, did she go out of bounds?
I don't know that I saw a hand raise. They don't have the corner judges at a lot of the dual meets, and I didn't see the judges put their hand up, so maybe on the line, but
Really good save.
the difference between like this gymnastics and football or basketball is on the line is in bounds.
Right, right, and you'd be surprised. You know, as a gymnast, when you're flipping in the air, you feel that line coming. So we always have an idea.
Absolutely. So basketball, the line is out of bounds. Gymnastics, the line is in bounds.
Yes, and an easy second pass for her. Huge jumps, some flexed feet though, which is an easy fix. But again, could have a slight deduction on that.
A career high of a 9.85 on this event. Really see that big breath before the final tumbling pass.
Yep. Really good final pass though. Controlled landing, had a lot of height. And that's something that you want on those last passes this early on in season. Sometimes we forget floor is a full-on endurance event.
Absolutely, it is just a minute and a half, basically a minute and a half sprint when you add in the tumbling and the leaps and jumps, so. Skyla Schulte in her final event.
And she's the first Michigan State gymnast to ever earn All-America honors on the balance beam. So very cool to be able to say that.
Absolutely.
She had a few balance checks last week against Bama, so let's see what she can do here. So far, so good.
Our first of 3 all-arounders on their final event.
I love Skyla's form though. The straight legs, the pointed toes. Such basic things that really make a difference in a routine. That came through back in series.
Yep, and the all-around scores over there. So again, Skyla. But it's so close. Was that a 10th between all 3 of them?
It was very close, yes. That's gymnastics for you, though.
Absolutely. When you can judge in half-tenth increments and it comes down to the thousandths of a tenth when you take the averages on some. Take a look at this dismount.
Good height, good form. And honestly, a great landing. That was a really good, solid hit for her.
Absolutely.
Back over to the floor. You can see smiles. First pass. 2.5 to a front tuck. Looked like it was a little bit short on that 2.5, but really pulled it out.
Absolutely. You want to see the last tumbling salto rise,
Right.
and hers went down. But again, still able to complete it. She'll just get a small deduction.
And a good cover up. When you smile and get excited, sometimes it might cover up a little bit.
Absolutely. And I don't know if anyone at home watching is watching these score updates in the bottom of your screen. And I'm going to knock on wood now, but this is going to come down to the wire.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be a close meet. You can see that next pass. Sky high double tuck, a little bit of chest down on that landing, so that will be a deduction. She did have to step forward. But had that huge smile on her face. A solid routine for NC State.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Again, it transferred over from Kentucky and just making a huge impact straight away.
Can see. And look at Phil in the background. He is hyped, fist bumping. I love that.
Love it. Sometimes the coaches get more excited than the gymnasts.
Hey, but that's always so fun. That's one of the best parts.
Absolutely. Nikki Smith on balance beam.
Wow, really big series. You could see the amplitude on that. It was like she was floating in the air. Right into her leap combination. Nice straddle jump. Getting those feet up in the air above her hips. And on this event, it's really important too to have a rhythm, your own rhythm. You don't want to rush. You don't want to be too slow. Every gymnast has their own pace that they go at. And you have to be able to find that. Getting ready for this dismount. Really big, double tug. Oh, I thought she had that stick, but really great.
And there are quite a few double back dismounts in collegiate gymnastics, but this skill is just so hard.
It's so hard, but you could see how high she got on that. She made that look easy and almost had that stick.
Right back over to floor, Lauren Rutherford. Another junior. Again, we've had junior, back-to-back for this Wolfpack team. And she just has so much fun on this event.
I mean, wow. 2.5 to a front tuck. You can see how precise that twist was in the air.
She almost gets, by the end of the routine, she smiles so much, she almost gets like the dry mouth just from smiling and being so excited. But it's always fun to watch.
You have so much adrenaline in the middle of it, you don't even realize.
Yes. And it's like half choreographed, but at the same time, she truly looks like she's just having a blast.
Yes, she does. Going into the next pass. You can see that big breath. Round up by handspring. Sky high double tuck. Had that landed, she looked like she had a lot of power, but really controlled that.
She really did. And now my eyes are on Phil as well, and he is just as excited. Let's take another look really quick at the last pass.
Really big double tuck.
Huge. So much height and rotation.
I think she could have broken out of that, yeah.
All right, Gabby Stephen for the Spartans.
And she's such a fierce competitor, especially on this event. We've seen it all day. But wow, you can just see her going after each skill. She made that look easy, but that was very difficult.
That's the whole point of gymnastics,
right?
make it look so easy, like anyone could do it. Just both of these teams kind of fighting tooth and nail.
A really floaty back handspring back layout.
Again, just makes it look effortless. That skill is not that easy.
No, and she made it look way too easy. So far, so good on this routine.
She's just been a rock for the Spartans all day today.
Double fault. Oh, is that a college stick? You know, she stuck it.
Absolute college stick.
Yeah, stuck it, saluted, and then took that step. But I really liked that dismount. Look how she just spins in the air and keeps her feet and her legs together. She was like holding her breath like, oh, I think I got the stick on that.
So the rule is they're supposed to come to a full and complete stop.
Yes.
But they kind of, it's kind of like a yield sign. Like you pause and keep going. And as long as you show the judges you're done, then we're done.
Yeah.
All right, Emily Shepard, there you see her scores for the day.
She's having a good day so far.
And looking for another big one to add on floor exercise. NC State could really use a few big scores here with the last couple competitors.
especially because, like you said, it is such a close meet.
Right now looking at half a tenth between the two teams.
Really big double pike. You can see she stayed in bounds.
Stayed in bounds, just right there.
Had a big lunge on that. That will be a little bit of deduction. Getting ready for this next pass. Front layout to a Rudy. Nailed that one. I know last week she landed a little bit short on that, so definitely see some improvement.
Absolutely, and some extra protection with that 4-inch mat. Just by the time you're a senior, your ankles, everything is, they've taken a beating.
Right. This last pass coming up. Looking for a really good landing. Really high double top, and wow, that was a good landing.
Fantastic. So outside of that first tumbling pass with the not uncontrolled landing, just an extra big step, a phenomenal routine for Emily Shepard.
And that big step is an easy fix. That's exactly what you want to see in
Take
this
another
stage.
look here, and you can see she just barely stays in it. The line is inbound.
You could see literally her toes on that line.
And that's a veteran move, too. She knew exactly where she was at.
Absolutely.
And Bailey Garcia now for the Spartans.
Bailey's such a controlled and elegant gymnast as well. You can just watch how she moves across the beam. Beautiful. Back handspring, back layout, step out. Nice form. She is in the anchor spot. Emily Shepard with a 9-9. Well deserved. Well deserved. Really pretty leaps. Again, the extension from the legs all the way through to the pointed toes. Then a dismount, but can't spring to a side gainer. Stop. That was your stick.
Absolutely. Just some phenomenal gymnastics, which again, what we expected out of both of these teams. I'm a sucker for good gymnastics. It's just, there you see Emily Shepard coming in, that 9-9, clutching it with the 39-4-5, 2 9-9s today. Just a phenomenal start to her season.
Anytime that you're getting a 9-9, you're going to be happy.
Absolutely. Chloe Negretti, I love her starting pose, just standing there. Nothing difficult, no back breaking, just stand.
She looks so fierce, like she's just going to attack the routines that she does. And she just attacked that. Yep, and she just proved my point. Really nice first pass.
She does, and she is definitely the more serious competitor. So Lauren Rutherford, the cheery, excited, kind of bouncy. Chloe, definitely the more serious, controlled.
And that's what makes a team, and that's exactly what you want to have.
And it fits their personalities.
Right. Getting ready for her next pass. Front full, punch front layout, almost stuck that.
Absolutely beautiful.
She almost didn't even need to take that little lunge.
And she's one of those gymnasts that sometimes doesn't take the lunge. She will, she trained elite gymnastics where they definitely focus on those sticks, and sometimes she will not take that lunge.
You can tell her phenomenal leaps as well. Last pass, double tuck. She nailed that. That was a great routine.
Absolutely. A career high on this event of a 9.95. It's probably...
I can see why. I mean,
yeah.
That was an exclamation point to the lineup. Her team so pumped, running up to her.
Absolutely. Phenomenal.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 9.9.
So, yeah, 9.9 or higher. Just a great job out of Chloe. Again, I'm sure she's excited to be back as well.
You have to be excited for that.
Jory Jackard in the exhibition spot for the Spartans.
Beautiful series. Solid landing on that.
You hear the fans in the background. That's the 9.925 coming in for Chloe.
I think something to point out too is Emily Shepard did a great job hitting her routine, setting up Chloe. It's exactly what you want to see from your 5th and 6th spots in the lineup.
Absolutely. Now, if they can do that earlier in the lineup, that's what the coaches are going to be working
That's
for
the key.
as it gets later in the season. Those 9.7s in the leadoff spot will hopefully become 9.8s and then maybe even 9.9s. Great combination there for Jory.
Again, we see the turn. Getting ready for her dismount. Really solid landing. She's
Nice.
happy with that.
Yeah, nice gainer pike off the end. I love the diversity in some of the beam dismounts.
We will see that a lot more this year because of the requirement of having a C
Absolutely.
or higher.
Absolutely. We'll see the gainers off the side, the gainers off the end, some pike, some with the full twist. Double back dismounts, I think we'll see quite a few of those. All right, and Haley Merchant in the exhibition spot.
What a fun way to end the meet. No pressure, a fun event. See her run up by Kate Spring. Double pike. A little bit too much power again. It looked like she piked down on that landing.
A little bit, definitely. But again, stayed in bounds, knew right where she was at.
Knowing where you're at and staying in bounds is one of the most important things on the floor.
It is, and I think a big thing to note is the reason why it's so important is that 10th doesn't just come off of what the judges are scoring. The judges score as normal, they average their score, and then the 10th comes off. So that 1/10 out of bounds is huge because it comes off at the very end.
Right, you can see almost stuck that second pass, took a small lunge back. I like her floor music though.
Super fun. And Haley, not new to this event, definitely spent some time in it last year as a freshman. Career high of a 9.85.
Solid last pass. A little bit bouncy on that landing.
But again, a great job, and Coach Landris, the ability to build out some of the depth within some of these lineups. So that concludes our 4th and final rotation this afternoon. We're going to take a quick break as the final scores are all tabulated, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back inside Reynolds Coliseum. You are floor side. Sydney, what a fantastic meet. We've got a highlight of the scores here. You can take a look at them, and let's just chat about today's competition because that was phenomenal. That was fun.
An absolutely fun-filled meet. We had Michigan State struggle a little bit on bars, bounce back with a 96.4, which just shows why they're the number 13th ranked team in the country. And then we had NC State struggled a little bit last week, 196.375, so much improvement. And that's exactly what you want to see this early on in the season.
Absolutely, and again, a quarter 10th between the two. Let's talk a little bit about our all-around champion, Emily Shepard.
What a meet for her, 2.99s. She's a senior on the team. That's got to give her and the rest of the team confidence. You can see she started off great on vault. She stuck landings all across the board, and And that's just a great leader to have on your team.
Absolutely, and being that 9775, we know that she's capable of a lot more than that. So one thing that she's definitely going to be looking at improving upon, and this floor routine was just so much fun to watch. A quick meet summary as we wrap up everything, but there you see it from some of the co-winners and individual event winners. Michigan State on all 4 apparatuses, NC State pulling up with the vault and the floor exercise. But that'll do it for us here in Reynolds Coliseum. This has been a production of ESPN and NCAA Women's Gymnastics. Next home gymnastics meet you see there Saturday, January 21st versus George Washington and Pitt at 4 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. For Sydney Sneed, I'm Rachel Garland. Thanks for joining us.